And there's the cows eating all the saltine crackers and licking the butter off, a little bit cannibalistic, but eating the butter off, and cows drinking Coca-Cola. Next morning, that was really bubbly, salty milk that they gave. Everybody singing, everybody swinging, singing away to the south in the Yankee-Yank. A bullfrog jumped from bank to bank just because he had nothing better for to do. Remember how the baby sang? Try it. He stuck his toe and fell in the water. You could hear him yell for a mile and a quarter just because he had nothing better for to do. But you see, it wasn't only cows. Good farms have a lot of different kinds of animals on them. And this one had pigs. Well, the pigs get hungry. They're hungry all the time. So the pigs are saying, you know what that means? Well, if you know what it means you speak pig language. And it's about time we learn to speak like the animals. It says, where is everybody? We're hungry. So the pigs decided to squeeze out of their sties. And they squeezed out of the farmyard, all of them trying to get out the gate at the same time, the way pigs and some people do. They squeezed on down the road, they squeezed across the bridge, and they squeezed down the next 11 miles. They squeezed up the steps, and they squeezed across the porch, and they squeezed through the door, and they squeezed into that room, and they began singing too. This one's more fun than the cows because you can keep a rhythm. And there's pigs rooting in the vegetable bins, pigs just eating the cardboard. They're eating the cardboard cartons off of the cereals. And I've heard it say that there's more nutrition in some of those boxes than there is in what is in the boxes. Leave it to a pig to find out. But back at the farm, there's the chickens. Chickens. And the chickens said, where's everybody? Time for us to be fed. We need to go find somebody to give us something to eat. So the chickens, they come down off their perches, down the road, scratching all those holes in it. Chickens running over that, and I'll tell you, the frog's getting a show. Up the steps, across the porch, down the hall, and turn right, and of course then the chickens start singing too. Now let's hear everybody who's there. Moo, 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 moo. Just because he had nothing better for to do, he stumped his toe and fell in the water. You could hear him yell for a mile and a quarter just because he had nothing. But you see, out in the fields, whenever you do anything, it always has what they call a knock-on effect. It's like dominoes. It always affects somebody else, what you do. So there's the grass out in the fields. The grass said, where's everybody? It's time for the cows to come munch on us. Time for the pigs to come roll on us and make us flat so that we can spring up again the next moment. And time for those chickens to come and peck at these worms in our roots that are tickling us. Well, if they don't come, we got to go find them. So the grass just swished up out of its bed, and it swished down the road. Now, you know, when everybody else had made that mess on the dusty road, the grass just swished it nice and clean, just like a broom. Swished across the bridge. It swished down the next 11 miles. It swished up the stairs. It swished across the porch, got all the dirt off the porch, swished through the door, down the hall, turned right, because everybody knew how to turn right by this time. And the grass began to sing. Now, maybe you think grass can't sing. I'll tell you it can. It's just, if you don't think it can sing, you don't know how to listen. When the wind comes along, it goes like this. And there was grass growing under everybody's feet. And there was the cows munching on it. And there was the pigs rolling on it. And there was the hens looking for, well, what are they looking for with the grass? Because the grass hadn't brought very much of the ground with it. Everybody's singing, everybody's swinging. Away to the south south in the Yankety-Yank, a bullfrog jumped from bank to bank just because he had nothing better for to do. And every now and then you could hear the farmer whistling because he felt, well, everybody else is singing the same thing. I ought to do something different. But you see, when the grass went, your logic tells you that the ground had to go too, didn't it? So if the ground went, the stream had nothing to flow between. So the stream just bubbled up out of its bed. Now, if you can picture this, it's really absolutely wonderful. All that's left in the world is that corner store 11 miles away, and the road, and the bridge, and another 4 miles of road, and a stream that is bubbling up onto the road, back on itself where the frog is, bubbling down the road. And it bubbles up over the bridge, and it bubbles down the next 11 miles, and it bubbles up the porch, and it cleans everything, and it goes through the screen door, leaving all the detritus that it could possibly have arranged to leave, like a big strainer, you know? So all cleaned up, it goes down the hall and turns right, and it begins bubbling up and down the walls. Everybody's playing in the stream, chickens learning how to swim, cows finally getting a drink, 'cause saltine crackers make you very thirsty, and incidentally, so does Coca-Cola. Everybody's singing, everybody's swinging, away to the south in the Yankety-Yank, a bullfrog jumped from bank to... But there's the frog in the middle of the air. He looks down, he says, "Whew, says, not only have I nowhere to land because the ground's all gone, no stream to jump over, but I have come from nowhere." But the bridge was still there. So he crosses the bridge, and he starts hopping down the long, dusty road, just like in one of Woody Guthrie's songs. Well, he gets closer and closer, and he says, "What's that God almighty racket going on down there?" And by this time, it was not a corner store anymore. It was bulging at the walls. He says, "Well, I gotta go see what's happening there." So faster he goes, up the steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, across the porch, and he goes to the door, and he goes down the hall, and he turns right, and what does he see? He sees the storekeeper. He sees all the old men. He sees all the wives. He sees all the children and babies. He sees the cows, the pigs, the chickens, and the grass and the ground, all singing a song. A song about what? And the frog says, "About me." And he begins to puff with pride. And he puffs with pride. And he puffs with pride. And he's as big as a cat by now. Puffs as big as a dog. Puffs he's big as a horse. Puffs he's big as an elephant. Puff he's big as a dinosaur. And you know what happened to the dinosaurs? Pooh! They blew right up to the heavens. They're not here anymore. And neither was the frog, blown into little smithereens. And he blew the entire country store up with him. Nobody was hurt, because they don't get hurt in this kind of story. They all went up in the air, and they came down to right where they should have been all this time. And dinner was cold. Everybody went out, they tried to find the frog. Couldn't find anything but old Coca-Cola cans, saltine packets, cows' tails, pigs' tails, tall tales, feathers, grass, but no frog. So all that's left of that frog is just this song. So in his honor, I think we should all sing it together. Away down south in the Yankety-Yank, a bullfrog jumped from bank to bank just because he had nothing better for to do. He stubbed his toe and in he fell. The neighbors thought he'd gone to well. He had nothing better for to do. Now there's lots of people like that foolish frog of mine, that get themselves in trouble just wasting time, wasting time. Lots of people like that foolish frog of mine, just because they got nothing better for to do. Big things come from little things, and all this came from just a tune that was whistled. try it. And that's the frog song.